Woohoo! Hey, welcome to day 11 of Live for Life Satisfaction. So, want to move beyond self doubt into success? Welcome to today's live. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Viv, your deep life satisfaction and happiness strategist, helping you, game changers, wake up with vibrant passion, live with purpose, and sleep with peace. So today, I can't believe we're already on day 11. I know I keep saying that, but it's really crazy. We've been here for 11 days, and today, even though it's day 11, it's actually day 3 of a Three Keys workshop that I've been giving. So it's an old workshop that I used to do called the Three Keys to Success. And over the last 3 days, well, today's the third day, so the last 2 days, I've been kind of giving these keys that I used to teach a while ago because they're still really relevant, except they're not all the keys to success. They're three vital keys to set you up for success. Okay. So, just a little quick recap. If you didn't see those previous sessions, go and watch them because it will really help build upon your success, right? And that's what we want. So, just to recap, the first key was can you put in the chat? Can you put in the chat? I'm just kidding. The first key was believe in yourself. Okay. Believe in yourself, whatever your goal is, believe in yourself that you can achieve it, that it can be achieved and it can be achieved by you. And we discussed tools that you can use to help with that if you're struggling with that. And trust me, it's not uncommon to struggle with that. I talked about how I really struggle with that, especially when you feel like your goal is something that just seems impossible, which sometimes big goals seem that way, but that's what makes them fun, right? No, it makes them scary, but it makes them worthwhile. Remember, courage is feeling fear, but doing it anyways, right? So we got some courageous souls here ready uh, to get happy, right? We're gonna get happy each day, and we're gonna build that life full of fulfillment together. Okay, so day two, or the day after day one, key, not day 2 of the live. It's day. I'd have to do the math. So we talked about being your best friend, right? Like becoming your best friend. So this was about stopping that whole train of self-sabotage, which a lot of us get caught up in. I don't know anyone yet who has not at one point in their life self-sabotaged themselves. And I talk a lot about the reasons why and what to do about it in yesterday's live. So please go there if that's something that interests you and you haven't watched it. Now, getting to today. So, want to move beyond doubt and embrace success. Sounds pretty nice. Why not? Right? Why not? And the key to this is letting go. I used to call this just letting go of your past, okay? And the story and the beliefs and the limiting doubts that are holding you back. Okay, so I want to just tell a little story to illustrate this about a former client of mine. And in fact, this story is not just about this client. It's really like a compilation of clients because a lot of clients that I've seen really mimic this story and had a similar story, if not the same story. So this client of mine, he grew up, feeling like his parents really neglected him emotionally. They weren't physically abusive. They weren't emotionally abusive, but they just weren't there for him in many of the ways that he would have needed. And he, also got bullied a lot in school, right? So he navigated a lot of difficult situations, and his parents didn't really have the resources at the time to support him in the way that he would have liked. So because of that, he grew up really feeling kind of like he didn't fit in, a little bit different, a little bit not good enough, and just not feeling loved, even though I'm sure his parents did love him very deeply. And being a parent now, I know the challenges of parenting can be diverse, right? And sometimes we don't do a perfect job, and humans are not perfect. So it's not to vilify these imperfect parents, but as children, we just don't have the understanding that we do as adults. And even when we become adults, we don't necessarily apply that new understanding and new learning retrospectively to our past to be like, oh, okay, that's why mom and dad did that. They were just really busy. They had financial stress. They were struggling between this and that, and they just didn't think that I needed that guiding support through the bullying, or that listening to me, or that holding space for my feelings, or whatever, right? So he actually early in his life, in teenage years, actually turned to some substance abuse to cope, and then later a little bit to porn and things like this to cope. As he grew older, he kind of transitioned out of those behaviors to different coping mechanisms, like, scrolling on Instagram. Like, I shouldn't vilify Instagram, but let's just say scrolling on social media, and kind of getting lost in that place, looking for, what you could think as connection, but looking really for that connection, that love, right? Because we all need love. It's a deep need of ours. So, and then when he came to work with me, he was struggling with, you know, wanting, being a rather successful professional, okay, uh, making okay money, right? But really wanting to break through to the next level, and feeling held back, like maybe he was self-sabotaging, or, he was suffering from that a little bit, but he was really suffering from a lot of self-doubt, right? And so we unpackaged this self-doubt, which is really common, right? And and kind of led back to a lot of these early childhood experiences. So this is not uncommon. And what I want to say is that he had an old story that he continued to tell himself, right? And that was, my parents weren't there for me. People didn't really like me at school. I was different, and nobody really loved me. I didn't have a lot of success with girls, and I used all these coping strategies, and I was kind of unlucky. And that was kind of his story. And so it's not a very empowering story. Now, that's not to invalidate the true pain and hurt that someone would feel in this position. Completely valid. But the question is that story an empowering story? Now, this may sound strange to some people, because you might think, well, but that's what happened. What can I do about it? I can't change my past. And I'm going to say, yes, you can. You absolutely can change your past, because everything in life that we experience, especially our past, is experienced through a filter of meanings and representations that we give to those events, right? And when we're little, we can give very distorted representations, right? And as an adult, or as someone who becomes conscious of what's going on, you can consciously decide to give new meanings, new representations to those stories, right? And you can actually transform that internally, right? And so we did that using EMDR, because that's a tool that I used to use. And I've done that obviously with myself, for those of you who followed my channel. So if you need a deep fix, right? Like you're really stuck, that's always an avenue to go through. However, what I want to share with you today is another tool that we also used, and that I use with clients today, that is very fast and very effective, without the need for trauma therapy, unless of course you need trauma therapy. But we don't all need trauma therapy. We can rewrite our past just by rewriting our past, and choosing to move on, and using supportive techniques. So, for example, I'm going to teach you a very quick exercise, right? So this is just an exercise where I want you to take a pen and paper and just write down your old story, okay? The old disempowering story that you've been telling yourself, and just write that all down, and really spend a good 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes or an hour to write that story, whatever time you need. Just write that story, and then put on some nice music if you want to, and spend an equal amount of time or more time writing your empowering story. So rewriting that story. So how can you turn the meanings that you gave into empowering meanings? Okay. So, I did this with my own life. I had some disempowering meanings, especially around my parents and things like that, and trauma that I went through. But through my healing process and everything, I came to be like, wow, these people really loved me. Sure, they weren't perfect, but they really loved me, and focusing on all the good things they did. And how did it make me grow to get those challenges? What did it give me? How did it strengthen my character? Right? How did it open doors to immeasurable joy? Because I wouldn't have looked for those doors otherwise, right? So, you know, think about how you can reframe the past, right? And do this exercise. So it's about using the story exercise. So writing your old disempowering story and then writing your new empowering story. And that old story, you can like rip it up, burn it, whatever, just be safe and embrace this new story, right? And you can use some of the tools that we've used that I've mentioned in the past, like intentional journaling. You can definitely use the self-hypnosis stuff I talked about in some of the lives to kind of like reinforce the story if you need to, right? And like I said, if you keep reinforcing the story, put it somewhere where you can see it, put somewhere where you can read it. If you need to, read it every day, until you actually buy it and believe it, right? And if you feel like you're really blocked, well, that's when you might want to use a deeper tool like the Self EMDR tool. And that's not for everybody. But if that's you, you can go to selfemdr.org, which is where I talk about that tool, if that's something that you need. However, like I said, that is not for everybody. Hopefully, you can just use this exercise and the other tools that I've given you that can really thrust you into thriving and letting go of your past, you know. And you can do a lot of self-hypnosis, and there's tons of recordings on that. I may have one on my website. I can't remember if I posted it, but there's a lot of like recordings you can listen to about letting go of the past, letting go of the past. But writing this story is a really intentional way of guiding your brain exactly where you want it to go and how you want it to think about your past, how you want to kind of reframe your past as an empowering part of your history, and kind of let go of all the crap that's not serving you. And it's not about invalidating what happened. It's not about that. But does it give you power to think about or believe and embody disempowering meanings, right? Think about how it serves you, right? And then think about if you embrace these empowering meanings, if you really look at the truth, because there's many, many ways to look at something. And if you really look at the truth, I think you could find that your past did serve you. You could reframe that and let go of the pain, let go of the things that hold you back. And most of all, for God's sakes, please let go of the self-doubt. There's only one unique you. You cannot be replaced, okay? You have your own unique greatness, as we talked about in another live, okay? The top 100 list, if you didn't see that, go back. I'm sorry, I can't remember the day. But it's true. We all have our unique greatness. You have your unique greatness. You cannot be replaced. It's time to let go of the self-doubt. It's time to go after your dreams. What are you waiting for? You only have one life, and it is now, okay? And every day is an opportunity to bring more joy, to choose to focus on the things that make you happy, to choose to turn your focus away from the things that would activate the anxiety and the triggers and the anger and all that. And there's going to be a lot more tools that I talk about. So stay tuned, okay? And just keep on using these tools, and I want to hear about it, okay? So please share your compelling future, your compelling, empowering story. You can do it before and after, or just an after, and share that in the comments, okay? I love to hear from you, so please do that. And also, in case you didn't hear, I've started a new YouTube channel that we're going to be moving these lives very soon over there, and they will stop appearing here. So please go over there and subscribe. It's called Thrive Force, Thrive Force with Viv PhD. Okay, so if you're searching for it in the YouTube, you got to put a little at Thrive Force with Viv PhD, because it's brand new. There's not even a video there yet. Although, who knows? By the time you're seeing this, maybe there'll be a ton of videos there. We don't know. And go over there and subscribe, so that it can unlock tools and so that you can be notified of the next lives, because any day, this will disappear. And that channel is the one that's going to be dedicated for all this thriving, bringing you into a life full of vibrant passion, with deep purpose and meaning and fulfillment, so that when you lie down on the pillow at night, you can just breathe in that contentment that gives you the peace to close your eyes and have a deep, restful sleep, right? Sounds good. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take good care of yourself.